Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Curvypreneur. I am your correspondent, Terrell Antoine, and I am with a very lovely woman of fashion. A style is untouchable, and actually a style that is unaged. It doesn't age because it's always in style. And she is the fashion concierge and also a model maven. I would like to introduce Miss I'm gonna just say this. I'm going to say Miss Nanette. How you doing, darling?
Hi, how are you? How are you?
I'm good. How you been?
I've been good. I'm not gonna complain.
Well, I'm glad that you came on down to the show, because actually I remember I have you on Facebook.
Yes.
And I've seen you on Facebook. Actually, the first time I've actually seen you in person was when you was at last year Fashion on the Hudson. When you was modeling with Miss Jamaica Wilson.
Okay.
Who was also the host of Curvypreneur.
Okay.
And y'all done very, very lovely. And I've actually seen your pictures a lot, and you have a different style that you hardly see on fashion. Because sometimes I actually say, like, I get to me personally, I don't like to go to a lot of fashion productions because I feel like a lot of fashion productions aren't unique.
Okay.
For a reason, but there is another person who's on this with me right now. She's right next to me.
Hello, Terrell.
And this lady is a phenomenon in her own right, and she is a independent radio show host and also a model and actress. And she's a jack of all trades. And I would definitely like to introduce my co-host for the day, Miss Lisa Pearl. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me here again.
You're welcome. I'm
happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad that you came all the way down from Orange County, New York, all the way down here to Brooklyn, New York.
Well, you know what? I know it seems like another planet up there, but we really are human, and we have cars, and here I am. I'm happy to be here.
There's nothing wrong about being part of the old new world of Brooklyn, because I was in Brooklyn. It's hardly Brooklyn anymore. It's another form of Manhattan.
Okay.
You seen the new high rise?
I don't come down to Brooklyn very often, but I certainly have. And you're right. It's just up and over the bridge from Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's an extension.
It's an extension. Yes.
Yes.
My son lives here, actually.
Yeah, see?
Right.
Get a chance to branch out a little bit. So, Miss Nanette.
Yes.
How long have you been doing your fashion thing?
Oh my God. I started back in 1995, 96. That's when I originally started.
I see that you actually participated with Fashion on the Hudson 7 times.
I've been in Fashion on the Hudson at least 6 to 7 times, 6 of their events, yes.
You actually, you fat. I'm actually reading over your bio right now because I had to go through it.
That's all right. Let me ask you a question. Fashion on the Hudson, where does that happen physically?
It actually happens at the Riverbank Park, just off. It's in Riverside Park.
Okay.
Off of 145th Street and Riverside Drive.
Okay. And how long has that actually been going on?
She started at least 7 years ago.
Okay.
Producing it in the Riverbank Park.
Very nice. And how many different designers are represented there?
Ooh, the gamut can go from 10 to 20 different designers.
All right.
And well over 75, 80 to 100 models.
Yeah.
And
so I might blend nicely.
You would blend nicely.
Yeah. Okay.
They go from size 0 to size 24, depending upon.
And I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So you'll have to hook me up.
Sure, not a problem.
That would be awesome because I enjoy it. It's nothing that as a younger person I ever thought I would do. But
I know they
but
actually
do, and
had
it's
their
fun.
casting. When did they have their casting? You missed the casting
I
actually
missed
because
it.
it was March 25th.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think they're gonna have another one because the show is July 15th.
Well, if there's anybody that I have a possibility of making a phone call, let me know. Because it would be fun.
Actually,
You might have an in.
I'll be there. So you can come on down too.
Oh, well, I can
And-
come as media then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You can
I'll
do this
just-
media.
I'll come as media and I'll just
Yeah, bring
maybe
me.
dress cute. Maybe one of the designers would like
Well,
to dress me anyways.
Listen, anything's a possibility. I'm planning on dressing cute and sitting in the audience.
Are you? There you go. Well, you know what? Honestly, I'm a very visible, vocal, social media person in addition to radio. So I would think somebody would want to dress me so that I could show them off.
That's
Right.
That's a
The ma-
possibility.
They should dress us both.
The
They should.
person who runs that program.
I look great in hats.
That production. The person that runs that production is no one than the infamous Miss Sophia Davis of Fashion Avenue News
Infamous
Magazine.
or
Okay.
famous?
And she is.
So you know how to.
a-
You can introduce me.
Yeah, she's
All right.
she's a dynamite woman.
Okay.
She
She's an exceptional entrepreneur.
she-
Yes.
What's her name?
Sophia
Davis.
Davis.
That sounds like another woman I need to know.
Yeah, and
Maybe
she's
bring on my radio show.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and she is a New York native.
She's a New York native.
Okay.
She's a FIT graduate. She's the CEO of Fashion Avenue News magazine,
oh well.
as well as the producer for Fashion on the Hudson.
She definitely belongs on my radio show. One of the two.
So,
Awesome.
Miss Nanette, I was actually going over your bio because you got a pretty big old bio, and I see that you have actually, you've done fashion with many different designers, from Sade Perry of Miss Berry Fashions and Princess of the Harlem Brownstone.
Yes.
And,
I did a show with her just last Sunday.
And Donna Michelle of
Dee
the Michelle
Michelle,
Fashions. And Doris Sims of the Simmons On-Salt Couture.
She's one of the designers that I am a brand ambassador for.
That's really. And okay, I'm just going to interrupt you a little bit. Tell me a little bit about her fashions.
D. Sims, Miss Doris Sims. What can I say about her? She does from ready to wear to high fashion to haute couture.
Okay.
She is a lady that I met maybe 2.5 years ago at Fashion on the Hudson, actually. She came, it was her first time being at Fashion on the Hudson. I believe it was her first time doing a high profile fashion show. And she was there picking her models. And I admire this woman because she came with, unlike any other designer, she came prepared to cast the models in a very high fashion way.
Okay.
I say that because she came with a tape measure, she came with her sketches, she came with her swatches. She was prepared to.
She was ready to go.
She was ready to go.
And I
she,
love that about somebody.
She
She wasn't
knew-
playing games. She was ready to go.
She was ready to go. She knew what she
Awesome.
wanted in her models. She took our measurements. She had specifics in mind of what she wanted to do in terms of her models. And after that, after the show, we kept in touch. And I asked her if she would be part of another fashion show for a gentleman by the name of Larry Bird, who was putting on a show in Harlem it was called Men of Styles.
Okay.
But he wanted to do a mixture for men and female, and she consented, and since then she and I have partnered up to be partners, so to speak, and I've been her brand ambassador ever since.
Congratulations. That's really awesome.
I'm
That's
over
very
here.
cool. I want to see some of her fashions now.
I was pretty much looking into the fashion world. It's a whole different ball game for me because somebody did introduce me to want to be a big guy male model, and I was like, all right, cool.
There you go.
I might have to look into that. But so I've actually was going through your your bio, and you were talking about an article that you had written back in 2015, January 2015 at iFashion magazine, for your campaign of Lupus awareness.
Oh, yes.
Tell us a little about that.
I wrote the article because I have lupus. I personally have lupus. The article was to bring awareness to what lupus is, how it affects people, and to make people aware that, you know, well, let me back up. Lupus is, unfortunately, a forgotten condition. Most people are not really aware of what lupus is. It's an autoimmune deficiency that has been misdiagnosed on a number of occasions. I can remember for myself when I was first told, or before I was first told what I actually was dealing with, which was back in 1991 when I was first diagnosed with what people kept constantly telling me, oh, you have the flu, you have a cold, you have a flu, you have a cold, you have a flu. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how I had the flu or a cold that lasted, 6 months, 9 months.
Were those the symptoms, though?
The symptoms, cold-like, flu-like, achy, and it ran the gamut from.
Did you actually have fevers?
Fevers, uncontrollable fevers, unexplainable fatigue. I heard foolishness like, you have HIV, you have AIDS. Stop the madness.
Unfortunately, some of the initial symptoms of many things are similar.
Very similar. But
you need to have some really wise doctors.
You have to have wise doctors
to help you.
You have to have
out.
Specific blood tests.
Yes,
absolutely. Because I went from HIV, AIDS, Lyme disease, this, that. I was like, give me specifics because I know I haven't been exposed to HIV. I haven't been exposed to AIDS. I need to know exactly what I'm dealing with.
Right.
I spent a month in Harlem Hospital.
Is some of it insurance issues that they don't want to do all the testing that's actually necessary
I
quickly
think it was
enough?
I don't know if it's insurance issues, not being able to do the test quickly enough.
Right.
Back then, I think it was lack of knowledge as to what was really going on.
The doctor's lack of knowledge?
The doctor's lack of knowledge, because unless you have a specific, your GP is not the one to go to. A regular GP is not the one to go to.
No, they're the ones that are going to tell you, hopefully after a month. Hopefully that something isn't right, you should be over this by now. Hopefully they're the ones that say, let's take you somewhere more special.
But without having the knowledge and the ability to do something, then they have to move you to the next level. And that was when I found out that there's a specialty called rheumatology and immunology.
Yes.
Didn't know what that was until then.
You do now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now I know what a rheumatologist. I know what I know what an immunologist is, and that's where the specific blood tests come into play.
Right.
And without that, you're walking in the dark. You're constantly being told you have the flu, you have a cold, or you have this, you have that, and unless you have
somebody that can go, check, that's not it.
Check,
that's not it.
Right.
They got to go through.
Yeah, you have
it's
to
like those basic symptoms could be one of these 50 diseases. Let's narrow down the most probable and test those first, and then just keep going.
Keep going.
You got to keep going.
Very, very true. Because now, in this day and age, you have to seriously look at the other expectations when it comes to your health. Because sometimes a lot of people look for alternative means of health, and alternative medicines. And
I'm all for walking the line with Eastern and Western medicine. Is where you kind of. I'm all for walking the line.
I'm for walking the line.
But you still need to know what's wrong.
You need to know what's wrong
because you don't know what you're testing. You don't know what you're treating.
You can actually even with lupus, you can walk the line
to make yourself
Western
better.
and Eastern medicine.
I walk the line.
For me personally, now when I was told that I had lupus, the alternative choice was to be placed on steroids.
How does steroids have to do with lupus?
Well, you'd be surprised.
They'll alleviate some of
it alleviates a lot
pain
of the pains, because lupus. Right, there you go. Right. It alleviates a lot of the inflammation because the lupus, the part of the lupus that is the worst part
The part
to deal
that
with.
causes your pain and discomfort would be the inflammation.
The inflammation,
right?
the swelling
So
of
if you
the
can
joints.
alleviate that,
Right.
you can function to
And
maybe figure something else out.
Steroids is what is the
Steroid, you know what?
it is what it is. They prescribe that for most conditions. They prescribe steroids for asthma.
I'm asthmatic, and you know what? When I am out of control, most of the time I'm in control.
Mhm.
But if I get a bad cold, if I get it at the change of the seasons, there are certain times a year when it's
Right.
and if it settles into my chest, it can aggravate my asthma and push me into pneumonia because it's happened. And when I've tried on my own, just inhalers, okay, steroid inhalers, okay, antibiotics, when I've gotten past that and I'm still not getting better, prednisone. You got to. At a certain point, it's the only thing that stops it. It just stops it so that you can
controls
heal.
it better.
It stops it so that something else will help you heal.
But
Unfortunately.
for people with lupus, we have to look at what causes. There are so many causes that are unknown to us. Environment. We're told that environment plays a part. Stress plays a part. Pregnancies play a part. As with many other things that go wrong in the body, because it's an immune deficiency. Anything can trigger your immune to be deficient, for lack of a better term, or to shut down. So we look at all the factors, what we eat, what we don't eat. Now, in my case, they were telling me at that time, well, you have to change your diet. And I looked at them basically like they had two heads, because changing my diet was really not a factor. My diet was not a factor for me.
Right.
My eating habits were not a factor.
Right.
My physical activity
for some people it might
was
be.
not right.
For some people it might be at least part of it.
Right. And at the time of diagnosis, for a lot of people is critical, because if you catch them when they're in their 50s and 60s, their lifestyle is already set. Right. So how do you change that?
A shock to your life. A total shock to your life will make you address your body, because your body's gonna behave anyways.
But there are some people who can't make that adjustment, and now you're telling them this, and they're set in their ways. Their lifestyle is what it is, and you want them to change their lifestyle plus put them on this medication.
Unfortunately, that's often what I think is, if you want to save your life.
But a lot of people,
sometimes people can't. A lot of people don't. They can't.
I have a friend who I've known for a while, just chatting on Facebook. She was diagnosed maybe a year and a half ago, and the adjustments for her were hard. And she expressed it on Facebook, and even on Facebook, I had to tell her, look, this is what you have to do.
Right.
Even if you were diagnosed, this is what you have to do in order to make
to survive.
Right, in order to make your chances of survival great. Now, for me, again, when I was diagnosed, making the changes was a no-brainer, because the changes had already been made. It sounds weird, but when I was 8, I gave up eating red meat, pork, and all that stuff. My diet was not an issue. So when it came down to having been diagnosed in 1991, years later, in my 30s, that was really not a major factor for me. But when they told me I had to be placed on steroids, I tried it for like 6 months, maybe 9 months. Really didn't like the feeling of it.
No.
So I went back.
It's a weird feeling.
It is a weird feeling.
You feel hot. You feel hot and creepy.
You're hot. You're creepy.
Right. And have you ever been on steroids?
It's a cyclical thing you have to do.
You can't even explain it unless you've experienced it.
It's a cyclical thing
you feel like something's creeping in your skin.
Oh my God.
Right?
And then
there's a certain feeling.
You're feeling like the Pillsbury Doughboy one minute,
you blow up,
then you're coming
you gain
down.
weight, right?
It's
you don't just blow up and gain weight, but you literally you get puffy.
You get really puffy.
It's not just weight. Like you do gain weight, but you get puffy.
It's kind of this edemic kind of feeling.
I was going to say, you push this now and my skin, almost nothing, normal. If I was on steroids, there would be a dent. You could still see the dent.
Yeah, you would see the dent. So I remember going to the doctor, and I asked him, I said, listen, doc, I really don't like how I'm feeling being on this. So tell me what my chances are. And this was back after being on it for a while,
Right.
I said to him,
Well, it stopped it. It got you to neutral,
Mhm.
where you could then ask for something else.
no, when I told him, I said to him, I need you to be honest with me. Tell me what my chances are being on the medication. He said 50-50.
What if you go off?
So I said, all right, can I ask you another question? Tell me what my chances are without the medication. He said the same 50-50.
Right, right.
That was back in 92, 93. I said, all right, I got this.
Right.
I haven't had steroids since then.
Oh, good for you.
My
It brought
only
you to neutral. It brought you to neutral so that then you could think,
Mhm.
okay, I'm in neutral. I'm not getting worse. And if the chances are the same, I would
then
have.
leave me.
I would have made the same choices. It's like I can make other adjustments to
Mhm.
my diet is good, I can do a little better.
Mhm.
You know, my exercise is good, I can do a little better.
Mhm.
You know, my weight is okay, I can do a little better. You know, whatever. If it's 50-50, why feel icky?
On a constant basis,
On a constant
not.
basis, why feel bloated? Why feel uncomfortable in your own body? For many reasons. Because it's bigger, because it's puffy, because you feel like there's spiders under your skin.
Yeah, so I took the opportunity to take the lupus aspect and mix it with the modeling, because I felt that being a model, I could be the new face for lupus, because most people don't, they look at you and go, you have lupus? You don't look like it. And I'm like, okay, so what
What
does
does
that
the person look like? They have
Right,
lupus.
what does
I
that
know.
person look like?
I had a friend that actually died.
Not a
She
lot of
had
people know
lupus.
what. Not a lot of people know what lupus was.
No.
I've actually known somebody when I used to work with them. When I used to work for the Parks Department in New York. One of my supervisors had lupus,
Mm.
and she talked about it.
So I knew somebody too,
And,
otherwise I would never have known.
And one of our guests that was on our show, she was a fashion designer. She has lupus. She talked about.
So it's
her,
actually more common than people
It's
realize.
more common than people realize, but
Right.
first
and
you have
hardly
to know what
anybody
it is.
talk about it.
It's
Right.
not talked about.
Exactly.
Right.
You will hear about breast cancer, you hear about ovarian cancer, you hear about colon cancer, you hear about more cancers
Right.
than you hear about autoimmune. You hear about, no offense to anyone with cancer.
No.
You hear about AIDS and HIV, no
Right.
offense to anyone. But you ask someone, do you know about lupus? They'll look at you like, what? What's
Right.
that?
Unless you know somebody.
I'm actually participating at a lupus awareness walk in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
on,
I do those
May
in Jersey.
13th. May
I do.
13th.
May 13th, I'm doing something on May 13th. Otherwise, I usually do the one in Jersey. I do the one in Philadelphia. I've done the one in Baltimore. I do the ones here in New York.
And like you had said that that you use your the condition to better yourself as an awareness, to lead the
We have a public platform.
public
When
platform.
you're public, well, I do the same thing. When you're public, you have an opportunity to do some good,
Mm-hmm.
to educate.
And not only that,
It's a good thing.
you did not use that as a crutch. You didn't even use that as an excuse to get yourself to put yourself better in ahead with the modeling, because you actually look at it as, why should I let this bring me down?
No,
Why should I let this to put me down as something that people might take it and run with it as their own ignorance. They don't want to learn. They rather hear, because you have a disease of some sort, they might think you're infectious.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sure some people do.
yeah,
Because they don't understand.
people
No,
are
they don't
paranoid. A lot of
understand.
people
They
are
hear
paranoid.
autoimmune and their mind goes
Yeah.
into all the other realms. They don't understand.
They automatically assume they never want to learn. They don't want to.
You know what? I think some of that's true. I think some of it's also that they're afraid to ask. If you haven't brought it up, I think people are afraid to approach and ask. So the fact that you're bringing it out is a really good thing. Because
I actually have a page on Facebook. It's called Lupus Education and Awareness.
that's
It's
awesome.
called Hot Butterfly. Lupus Education and Awareness.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Now that you actually have yourself set as a goal, you said in your you said, my ultimate goal in this industry, the fashion industry, is to, one, inspire other women to pursue their dreams, no matter their age. 2, to have my name become a household name. And 3, to build my own brand and have my own online store where the designers I have worked for in the past can now go on to showcase and sell their designs. And that's you've made dynamite goals. And you've done that, you've already done it. But you're working on that one part of your goal. And have you accomplished that online store yet?
No, I have not quite accomplished the online store. I started that with a online website that someone started for me, but it kind of got derailed. I'm still looking to do that online store where the designers can come and catalog their inventory and yeah, sell their, because you know what, for me, being in a fashion show is okay. But I'm a little sick and tired of seeing the designers do their thing in a fashion show, and fashion show after fashion show after fashion show. You do this fantabulous, glorious collection, show after show, and then what happens to it? And then what happens to it? You take it back home.
You take it back home,
and it sits in your closet.
It should be on women.
It
should be on bodies.
It should be, exactly. It's one thing to put it on a model and have them walk it on a runway and twirl it and swirl it.
And that's wonderful.
It's great.
Now who wants it?
Exactly.
I mean, if I see something lovely,
I should be.
I'd like models that invest in themselves. Meaning, if you need portfolios and stuff and you need the proper, tools to get out there and get the job, then you need to invest in that, because no one's going to come along and say, oh, darling, you're so fabulous, I'm going to make you a star. It really doesn't happen like that for most people. You hear that story 1 or 2 times, but that's not the real way it happened. So I think it's important that you invest in yourself and you're in front of the right people.
Yeah.
And I hate to use the word pose, because you're not really posing. A pose is when you're just sitting there and someone is doing that. When you're modeling from the camera, then you give it movement, you get flow. So when models come to me, one of the teaching lessons that, when they come in, I want to pose like this. You can't do that pose. Yes. Because that pose wasn't meant for you.
Thank you. Someone says everything isn't for everyone. Thank you.
I'm going to think, does that come in my size? I would like one.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And have you actually thought about doing a show of your own?
I have. I've got a few things in the making. Not to badmouth anyone. I was approached by a few people last year, actually the beginning of last year, about doing my own show, and I said, sure, it would be nice, but the biggest part of putting on a show is getting a venue. That's the biggest expense.
Absolutely.
And the person said to me, well, if I could get the venue for you at no cost, would you be willing? And I was like, oh, sure. Make a long story short, had a few meetings and sat down with them, laid out, all of what I had in mind, and, told me that they could get the venue that I wanted. But by the beginning of this year, that too got derailed. So I'm now in the process of looking for a new venue.
Okay.
Getting designers is not a problem.
That's always the easy part.
Yeah, getting the models, that's not a problem.
No,
I've got everything lined up. It's just a matter of location.
Where are you looking?
I'm looking both in the Bronx and in Manhattan. The place that I wanted in the Bronx, I could still get it. It's just a matter of getting the finances now to get it.
But of course, Manhattan is.
Yeah.
Is Manhattan.
And doing a fashion show on the weekend. I mean, during the week it's not expensive, but to do any fashion show on a weekend,
it's prime.
It's prime.
Yeah, it's to me it's a dime a dozen thing. But Saturday is always the most populated.
But Saturdays is always the most expensive.
Yeah, that's why it's best.
So any Friday, Saturday, or Sunday is expensive.
Right. I was gonna say,
But
Sunday, at least you can park in
I
Manhattan. That's
hardly ever hear
little plus.
special events on a Sunday.
I was going to say that
Sunday
there's less
to me
competition.
is the new Saturday.
Yeah, I think there's less
Because,
competition on Sundays.
I'm a media sponsor for one event that's coming up on a Sunday, and
How large of a space do you need?
Well, I want my crowd to be anywhere from 200 to 300 guests.
So a large restaurant or nightclub converted might work.
And
rooftop.
I'm looking at.
I wish you could bring it to New York. I wish you could bring it to Brooklyn.
A rooftop venue might work nicely in the nice season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can have the event
Tick, tick,
itself
tick,
to
tick.
be. You can have the event to be a lupus awareness fashion production.
Well, that was my.
Have you trying to network with
A charity event. It has to be a charity event.
Well, my.
A partial.
Yeah, it would be in connection with the Alliance for Lupus Research.
Yes. Yes.
You can
So
actually
one
try
of
to have
the
them,
research
help
facilities
network
and
with you
hospitals
on
ought to
trying
be.
get it happen.
Well, I've collaborated with them, so to speak, but the thing is that I've got to have the venue first.
Why not have it here?
Here in this building?
Yeah.
Mm.
First floor. You saw the first floor, right?
Oh,
The
yeah.
first floor is
I've seen
actually
this.
very impressive.
The first floor could hold up to 325 people.
In that space where the band goes?
Right.
And we can set
There's
up.
a ballroom. There's another room downstairs.
There's a ballroom,
Yeah, there's a ballroom downstairs. 440 people.
and we can utilize the stage not only for showing but interviewing along the way. Dead center.
And plus downstairs you have
We need to talk.
you have access not just that stoop. That's what it's called, the stoop. The whole first floor.
So I would love to help
It's
host
accessible.
something like that. That
From-
would be a lot of fun.
From the bathrooms to the eatery over there. And,
We need to
stuff
talk.
like
This is my first time here in this facility. Actually, well, this is my
This
second
is my
show
second
now.
time here.
It's my first time today. I mean, I was interviewed on the last show and then invited to stay on as co-host. And so when I walked into the building downstairs, I was in awe. It was like I was like a little kid in a candy store. I was like, where did I just walk into? I took pictures. I was taking pictures of the main stage, and it's a really
This
nice.
is my second time
It's
in
a
the
bright
building.
place.
Yes, it is bright.
It's a sunny, happy place.
Yes.
That downstairs is lovely.
It is.
We should go look at that ballroom because I can totally see that happening.
I can see.
It's
When I came
lovely.
here the first time, which was a couple of weeks ago, it was my thought. And I inquired of, I forget her name. But she gave me a card. And I said I would come back and speak to her. And then he invited me here for the for
I
this
know
interview.
other media and event planning people. I know.
That's the ballroom.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh, I would so love to help you do this here.
Oh, my goodness.
Here in Brooklyn at the Brick Arts building.
That
We need to talk.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can talk more about it.
Okay.
But right now,
I'd love to help host
right
something
now,
like that.
this
Oh,
is.
it's fun.
I'm actually gonna wrap up the show. We can talk a little bit more.
Okay.
No, we don't want to go.
I get it.
But but right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm wrapping up the show, so we can actually have yourself to get a chance to see a little bit more from Miss Nanette. And how can we get a chance to meet with? Actually, get a chance to.
Where can we find you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on Facebook.
Spit it
I'm
out.
Nanette Rhodesia Swaim on Facebook. I also have a public figure page. That's Nanette Rhodesia Swaim. I'm on Instagram as Rhodesia60. And then there's my Hot Butterfly page of for lupus awareness. Other than that, I'm on the streets.
Oh,
And
I
if you,
just drive around Brooklyn.
and if you ever get a chance, you might end up finding her at a next fashion production. Hey, she's definitely going to be at the Fashion on the Hudson, so you can definitely look that up too. So this is Terrell Antoine Waiters, and I'm along with Miss Lisa Pearl.
Thanks for having me on here again.
Yeah, I'm most definitely like to keep on having you here if you
Oh,
come on
thank
down
you.
to Brooklyn more often.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm discovering it's really not such a foreign planet.
Well,
Well,
ladies
this
and
is
gentlemen,
fun. I'll come back.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Terrell and Antoine Waiters. Curvypreneur out.
Alrighty.
Shade Denise. Ladies and J Red on the track. Come on. Soul Mop. Music group. From the Rolling Sexy.
It might be a man's world. Oh, it might be a man's world. We running this here. It might be a man's world. Oh, it might be a man's world. We run this here. How many times have I waited on you? Hand and foot, like a good woman is supposed to do. And how many times have I put up with the stress, day in and day out? I gotta deal with all your mess. You hanging out all night and creeping. Now you know you're wrong for sneaking. That's alright, boy, do what you do. But don't dish it out if you can't take it. You might own it, but I made it. I can play this game better than you. It might be a man's world. It might be a man's world. Yeah. We run it. Oh, we run this here. It might be a man's world. Yeah, yeah. We run this. All this running around has finally caught up with you. I ain't gonna sit around all alone like you want me to. And how does it feel to know I'm creeping on you? You thought that you had it going on, but now the joke's on you. You left me home while you were cheating, but I sure won't bear just sleeping. Go ahead, baby, do what you do. But don't dish it out if you can't take it. You might own it, but I made it. I can play this game better than you. It might be a man's world. Oh, but the women run it. But the ladies run it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It might be a man's world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know the only thing I've gotta do is just say the
Ladies and gentlemen, I am back, and this is Curvypreneur. I am with a special guest who came on from a vacation trip from Switzerland, and she is here to talk a little bit about her background. She is I call it a music star that should have gotten that recognition that she should have had. That she has a good voice. She has a good style of music. She's more likely a Sherelle and a what's her name, Karen White. And she's the Penny Ford too, Penny Ford. And right now, I would like to introduce my special guest, Miss Heather Walker.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hello.
I'm stuttering. I'm just tongue-tied off for some odd reason. I don't know why. But I invited you here to talk a little bit about your past. You've actually, me and you have met, and I listened to the CD that you gave me, and I actually enjoyed it. She has some house music that. It got me thinking of the stuff that I'm used to listening to, like some of the stuff from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and stuff like that. And I hardly hear a lot of good house music nowadays, but I have heard me plenty of few. But when it comes to the music that I'm used to, old school. I'm like old school music. You gotta get a chance to hear that.
Right, that's true. It's like you turn on the radio and it's the same thing over and over and over again. And for you to really hear the real music that you love, you have to listen to Pandora, or you might have to get not putting anything negative about the artists that's out right now, because they are very good artists that's out right now. It's just that we need to bring back some real soul music, some real like OJ's, Patti LaBelle. You know, we've forgotten our roots.
There you go. We've forgotten our roots. And when you started out with music, actually, what got you to do?
Well, I actually have been singing. My mother told me I started singing at 2 years old. My mom, she's a piano player. And she's also first lady of a church, because my dad was the bishop for a long time, Bishop John H. Williams. And my mom, she was the organist. So she said every time she would play something, I would sing. She said she couldn't believe it. You know, the baby at 2 years old was singing. So I started singing, you know, in church, namely, and loved to sing gospel music, love spirituals, love hymns, just love real music. So it actually started from there, from me singing as a child and being not really bashful. I was singing at all the assemblies in school. You know, every time there was some sort of assembly, I was there singing. You know, so it started from that. It worked its way up to when I was 15 years old. I was at Amateur Night at the Apollo. I won for 3 weeks in a row at 15 years old. From there, I was in numerous plays. And, you know, I don't really brag on myself about anything, because it's just the arts. Like when you love to sing and you love to perform, it's like you will constantly find yourself in settings like this, in settings of music. And music is a first love for me. It just stemmed from within, and it's like everywhere I go, I could be on a train, I'll sing. I could be everywhere, I'll sing. It's just, it's a part of me. It's a part of my purpose in life. Even now, you know, it's like I'll travel and I'm just singing things from that comes from my soul, that comes from the beginning.
So who can you give me your top five influences in music?
I would say Dorinda Clark Cole. I will also say Patti LaBelle. There is Luther Vandross. There is Whitney Houston. I mean, there is, I'm trying to think of the other artists. There is Donna Summers.
She bringing Donna Summers. Disco queen.
Yes, yes, non-stop.
And wow, but she was definitely a lovely woman. God bless her soul. She was a beautiful woman. You know, I had a big old crush on her when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, she was
gorgeous. Yes, and had an awesome voice.
How I grew a crush on her was when I saw her on Family Matters. She played Steve Urkel's aunt. And because I myself, I'm a person that I like full-figured women. I like big women. She was played as a big woman.
Well, she wasn't always big.
She wasn't always big. She was a small woman. Then she got thick, and then she got thicker.
Right.
But you know, but her music itself was very appealing, and her voice was dynamite. And
she had hit after hit after hit after hit.
70s, 80s.
Yes.
She was just like very fierce. She was the Donna Summers.
Big hair.
She made this. She had the style. She had the style. She had the swag of her own type of music, and she made it her own platform. Her platform is to be the queen of disco. And no. Okay. I'm just thinking about something else. When you did your music and whatnot, and have you ever try to perform other artists and stuff like in live venues and stuff like that?
Yes, of course. I've done a lot of Tina Turner and of course Donna Summers and Mary J. Blige, you know, at the casinos in Las Vegas, in Atlantic City, and of course overseas, you know. So of course, I love doing covers, you know, certainly.
Have you actually, can you blow loose something right now?
Okay.
I want to hear loose something.
Okay.
But get a little acapella up in here.
Okay.
I can remember when we had love. Are you and if I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I will think of you every step of the way. And I'll always love you. I'll always love you. You, my darling, you, yeah. When I look back over my life and I see all of the things God's done for me, been through heartache, sickness, and struggling, but the Lord, He spared my life, and now I can say that I'm still here, and it's by the grace of God.
Awesome.
Amen.
You did very well.
Amen.
So, you influenced you started at the age of 2. And you have very dynamite backgrounds of influences. And, well, is there any way we could reach out to you if we want to have you perform and book you?
Yes, I actually have a new song. I have a new song out called Love Caught Me, and you can go to www.cdbaby.com and you can purchase it. It's only for $129. Heather Walker, Love Caught Me. I also have my house single that I'm promoting, which is I Gave You My Heart, and that's also on CD Baby. You can find it wherever music is sold. I'm also on Instagram, Heather Walker Music. You'll see me up there smiling and running to the airport and just doing my music. You can also call me if you need to book me for any weddings, studio, or shows at 646-725-3014. Again, that's 646-725-3014.
Well, oh yeah. You know what? We haven't really talked a little bit more about what else besides music.
Oh, I'm actually in a play. I'm doing Motown. So in Motown, and this is with the East Harlem Repertoire Theater, I play Mary Wells in Motown, and that seems to be going pretty well. We're doing
Awesome.
pretty good. We go to all the schools, educating the children on what actually happened in Motown.
See, now let's get a chance to see. If you haven't really seen the other show, Motown, get a chance to see this production of Motown, because I feel like not a lot of people would know the background of Motown Records. Motown Records was the home in Detroit, Michigan, when we had the Temptations,
Yes.
Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, the Marvelettes, and Marvin Gaye, and name a few. There's so many great artists that came out of that label. And you talking about music, if you don't know Motown sound, you don't know nothing about music. But also, if you want to get a chance to know of Motown, look it up on YouTube, as many people would do. And if there's anything else that you like to find out more, you can always search Curvypreneur at www.rawcurves.media, and also like and subscribe us on Raw Curves 101 and YouTube. And you can also find us on Vimeo.com as well. But that doesn't mean that you cannot find a chance and opportunity to be part of the show. You can always be a guest here too. So if you are catered to the curvy industry, if you're an artist, entrepreneur, or entertainer, you can always come on by. Just look up on the website www.rawcurves.media, and you can find out more information on how to book yourself on being part of the show. I'm here with Miss Heather Walker, and she's been a wonderful guest, and she had a good time to sing a little something, and she tells a little about her background. And look her up again on Motown production. And what's the venue again?
We're going to be at different schools. We go to all the different schools teaching the children about what happened in Motown. The next show is coming up in June. If you go to my Instagram, which is Heather Walker Music, you will definitely see the schedule of the show.
Cool. So look that up, ladies and gentlemen, to be part of the production of Motown. And this is Terrell Antoine Waiters of Curvypreneur. Curvypreneur out. See you soon.
Wow, that was
So many times I will speak to somebody who is a professional model. They don't have headshots, they don't have a resume, they don't have anything out, they haven't cashed a check. How are you a professional anything if you don't get money? I don't understand that part of it. I don't understand. You know what I mean? And it's those people, like they will get penalized. They will get, you know, that's more expensive. If you come to me as a professional and you're not, I'm gonna charge you.
The way you write and think when you're writing script for other people now.
Yes, it does. It does allow me to put myself into the actor's shoes and say, okay, you know, how could I make this sound believable? Because a lot of times when writers write, they write just based off of their perception, and that's it. And so what I like to do is I step into every character's shoes. I step into the character of